refuses to raise the minimum wage, I say this. If you truly believe you could work full-time and support a family on less than $15,000 a year, try it. If not, vote to give millions of the hardest working people in America a raise.
Hey guys, so when it comes to the minimum wage issue, I think that there's a side missing this. There's a flip side to the coin of the argument. Try living off of $15,000 a year, or try living off of $10 an hour. That's difficult. Unquestionably, I did it from the time I was 16 till 24, but I had help. I lived at my parents' house for the majority of that, or as in college. It is absolutely difficult to live on $10, $12 an hour. It's very difficult. But there's a flip side of that coin. And I think it is objectively more difficult to build a business and employ people. Again, starting from scratch. It's easy to make $15,000 a year if your parents are buying you cars and taking on vacations and stuff like that. But that's not who's being focused on with the minimum wage arguments, right? It's people who are starting from nothing and trying to provide for a family. So let's take that same instance and take someone who's starting from nothing and trying to provide for a family, and let's have them start a business. So create a business, create some sort of value that people will exchange money for, and then take on, let's start small. Let's just say 5 employees. So take on 5 employees and pay them $15,000 a year. So that's $75,000. Which one do you think is more difficult? To survive off of $15,000 a year, where you have to, share rooms with people and eat a lot of spaghetti, and like really pinch your pennies. That's difficult to do. I think most of us could do it. It would be very uncomfortable. We could do it. Can you start a business from scratch? Build up enough revenue that you can spare $75,000 just for employees, and that's at the minimum. They want to pay more than that, so $85,000, $95,000, $100,000, because in order for you to pay $100,000 every year, you have to have more than that coming in. So I think there's a good rebuttal to try and understand the different dynamics of this, both sides of the minimum wage issue, is, okay, yes, it's difficult to live on this money, but it might be more difficult to do it. And the same way that, hey, why don't you try living off of $15,000 a year? Try it for a month or two. Well, try building a profitable business from scratch. Try it. Like these experiments are open to all of us. And in America, I think that it's not a coincidence that the people I talk to when it comes to business regulations and things like that, they tend to fall on one side or the other. And that is almost always correlated with whether or not they are business owners themselves. So I think that the best way to bring about change is to change it from the inside. So if you want people to be paid better, I think you should start a business, and I think you should pay your employees very well, give them benefits, give them health care, do all of those things that you are advocating for the government to do. And if you do it, and the person next to you does it, and we all do it, there would be no need for government to step in and do it. But I think it's very difficult, and we often look to the government to do the things that we are unable or unwilling to do. But what that does, the government doesn't just make things, they put it on the people who are doing it. So I just want to add that to the conversation. If you're on YouTube and you're looking up ideas about minimum wage and things like that, is yes, it is difficult to live on minimum wage, but I argue it is more difficult to build a business and pay minimum wage or beyond.